And it's showtime. Mm. Hello, everyone. If you guys are uh, for those who are on right now, I'm just doing a sound test. I cannot hear anything from my earbuds. Let me just test. Do a bit of testing. All right, that worked. Awesome. Oops. All right. Hello, whoever is watching. I think I know who you are. Just set up Instagram. That's Instagram is live. Great. Wait another couple of minutes. All right. I'm a hit. Pause. All right. Guys, welcome back for another live stream. Uh to the Big Fat Yarns. This is the seventh live stream since the new year. So welcome once again. Uh welcome to my one viewer who's watching right now. I'm sure people will start jumping on. If not, that's okay. I'll just continue the show along and continue the conversation going. Hopefully, people will comment as well outside of this live stream. But yeah, it is 10:38 here in Queensland, Australia. Queensland being the state, and the city right now where I'm at is Brisbane. So yeah, guys, couple of things that I do want to talk about today. Hopefully, people do go on the live, but otherwise, that's okay. There will be one little announcement that I'll make, or something that I've got coming up that I'll be doing over the next few months. And so I'll start from there basically. So what I'm going to be doing uh, from after starting in May, sorry, starting in March up until June, I will be doing a challenge where I will cut coffee out completely from my diet. Yes, I'll be cutting coffee out. I did this same challenge last year, and I did it for intended to do it for 1 month. It ended up extending it for 2 months, and yeah, I did well in my opinion. I did it with reason. I, you know, it definitely felt like I had some sort of addiction with coffee. Um, well, that's not sort of. I definitely did, it's one of those. Um, you know, it was one of those unnegotiable foodstuffs or a drink that I could not get out of my diet, and so that was probably the only thing hindering me from moving forward in having a fully carnivorous diet. So what that means is that for the next 3 months, from March up until June, I will be 100% completely carnivore. And that's given that I don't, fall off the wagon, or I don't, you know, or I succumb to my cravings of caffeine and coffee. But that is my intentions. I intend to cut coffee out completely and go in a fully 100% carnivorous diet. So that's going to be some exciting stuff. Um, so that will start. Well, I'm actually starting the process of just weaning off coffee um, right now. So starting yesterday, I've cut back on coffee. So I've got about 2 weeks to wean myself off to having no caffeine and coffee at all. And I do apologize. I do have a little bit of a sniffly nose currently. Um, yeah, I may or may not be coming down with something. Who knows? Which sucks, but it is what it is. So yeah, how so the reason why I'm doing it again, and cutting out coffee for my diet. Well, I felt great the last time I did it. Um, you know, apart from the transition and the withdrawals that I was experiencing, the coffee withdrawals, which lasted about 5 to 10 days. Um, and I did do a poor job of documenting that whole journey and process. So this time around, I hope to actually document quite clearly how I go, and sort of what strategies I used, and to see if I'm actually going to be successful in this or not. I'm hoping that I will be successful, and this will be something that will be sustainable, and hopefully, um, I could continue doing it longer than 3 months, um, which which I did last year when I actually planned to do it for a lot longer than expected, a month longer than what I expected. Um, so a couple of the things that I experienced last year when I cut coffee out was, apart from the negative things I just mentioned, I actually my gut health, I would say gut health, or my bowel function, definitely was a lot. I felt um, had improved. Surprisingly, coffee really, one of the things that, uh, the side effects I get from drinking coffee is that I pretty much need to sit over the toilet straight away. And, I initially thought that when I cut coffee out, I'd be experiencing a fair bit of constipation, which was not the case at all. Actually, it made my bowels a lot more smoother, and I was actually um, a lot more regular without the consumption of coffee. So that's the one thing that improved. The other thing that improved was my sleep. 100%. My sleep was just, much, much improved. Um, being a shift worker, um, it will be a challenge. I must admit, I think it will be a challenge. When I did cut off coffee the first time last year, I had a more stable Monday to Friday day job, which made it a little bit easier for me. I think, uh, in terms of routine scheduling and you know yeah, having a bit more structure and routine in my life. This time around, it's going to be a little bit different because I will be doing shift work, and I will be working pretty much with around the clock. I do all shifts from morning, afternoon, and night shifts. That will be a bit of a challenge for me. Um, I'm just seeing who's online right now, who's watching. So, on Instagram. I've got Carnivore Rosie. Thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to jump in the comments and interact with me. And also whoever is watching online right now on YouTube, which I'm pretty sure is my wife. But anyways, yeah, getting back to things that I experienced and things that improved whilst being coffee free. The one last thing that I definitely felt uh, improved was, just the mental side of actually giving up something that you acknowledge you were addicted to. Um, and so yeah, that's something that was, and I felt great actually. And and one other thing was my um heart rate. I used to be quite, tachycardic, or I used to have a very high heart rate due to, the 5 to 6 coffees I was consuming a day, even when, being on carnivore. So that will be much improved. Hello, whoever's jumped on in the live stream. I see there's a second person who's jumped on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Um, I am I am going on a bit of a challenge, just to let you know, keep you updated on if you haven't rewinded yet. I'm cutting out coffee from March till June, so 3 months without coffee. Be very interesting. So yeah, cutting out coffee this time around. I decided to do it again because, well, unfortunately, after you know, um, I finished the challenge, I did introduce coffee back very gradually, and yeah, unfortunately, it's just been increasing up until, I would say, the holiday period last year. I just had yeah, I went back to my old habits of drinking about 4 to 5 cups of coffee a day. Um, this time around, though, it wasn't double shots, which I was doing before, which is great. So I still, didn't drink as much coffee as I did, prior to the challenge. But yeah, still 5 cups of coffee a day. Yeah, just not good for you. And I definitely don't advocate for coffee drinking. I don't think it's healthy for many reasons. It's it's a plant toxin. It's a drug basically. There's a definitely a uh, psychological component to drinking coffee. The addiction of drinking coffee is real. It is a stimulant. Uh, and I'm sure it's got other effects that I haven't actually researched or looked at myself. But yeah, it definitely can't be good for you. I think anyway. So yep, uh, guys, for you who are watching, let me know. What are your thoughts about coffee on keto carnivore? Has anyone ever actually tried cutting out coffee? And yeah, let me know your experiences and how you went. So yeah, that's new. Um, I guess on the topic, just get a drink of water. On the topic of addictions, I wanted to talk about um, food addictions and acknowledging some of the things that we probably never really acknowledged in the past. For example, carb addiction. I never thought that was a real thing, to be quite honest. I never thought that um, it existed because of the belief that I had, which was you needed carbohydrates to survive. And so, yeah, that was basically it. I just want to acknowledge another person who's come in and watched and joined in on Instagram Live, the Carnivore Nurse. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for watching. Yeah, so carb addiction. or any food addiction, basically. That's a topic I wanted to talk about today. And for those who would like to share their experience on food addiction, please feel free to comment after this live stream, or if you're watching on the live stream, please feel free to comment on your experiences. But with my experiences, I became aware about carb addiction obviously when I went keto carnivore. I realized that um, it was a challenge to give up some certain foods in my diet. Uh, and it did take some time for me to actually, you know, I guess move on from eating those certain foods. One of them being noodles. I don't know why. Like I love ramen noodles, and to me there was obviously some psychological attachment to eating that sort of food, and there was also an emotional attachment to think that, oh wow, I'm going to be giving up one of the things that the foods that I love. And so how I got around with that was, I guess what I had to do to myself was to condition myself in a way that I wasn't emotionally attached to this food. um, so yeah, I loved ramen noodles. I love the taste of the broth, and enjoying, that, I just enjoyed it. Um, I substituted, y- you know, normal wheat noodles with, these low carb keto noodles, which, kind of put me off. I didn't like it at all, and it kind of sucked. So the way I got around it was I just persisted, and I just kept pushing myself to not eat it, and not to give into those cravings, which probably wasn't the best idea, because I did, succumb to those cravings here and there. But I guess after a month or so, um, going keto, I got off noodles completely. I just decided it wasn't for me, and part of the reason was I was experiencing, you know, some results. I was seeing things in my body that was, I thought it was going very well, like I was losing weight. So yeah, that's one way I got around, that addiction to ramen noodles. The other thing that I had challenges with, and that I had not acknowledged in the past that I had a problem with, was alcohol. So yeah, alcohol drinking for me, like coffee, I thought it was a standard part of my diet. Not that I was drinking every day, but I was drinking quite frequently throughout the week. Anytime I would go out and eat out with family or friends, I would always have a beer or two. And if there was alcohol at home, I would be drinking alcohol, for a nightcap, or you know, whenever I wasn't going to be driving, or whenever I just felt like it. Sorry, excuse me. Um, so the way I did it, and I think I talked about this in the last live stream, but I cut out alcohol um gradually, as I did with the other foods. But the way I did it was different. I watched the video from Pim Johnson. I can't remember exactly what the topic was about, and the information that she was talking about. If you haven't heard about Pim Johnson, she's Professor Batkay's partner. I would highly recommend you check out her channel, because um, she herself is a sugar addiction coach, or a nutrition coach, and she's got some really good content. I think it's very underrated. Um, she talks a lot about, uh, cravings, and how to curb food cravings that you have. And so yeah, one of the videos she was talking about was a strategy on how to plan for when you have a craving for a certain food. Um, and so I did that. I planned for, when I had a craving for something, um, when I had a craving for drinking alcohol, because there's always alcohol in my pantry or in my fridge. I'd always have like a beer or a six pack handy. And so what I did was, if I crave something, I would plan, you know, okay, I'm going to have a drink tonight or a few hours from now, 6 o'clock um, at night. I'm going to have a beer, or I'm going to have a beer after work. And so I did that. I planned for it, and the way I would go on about it is that after you know after that, I would plan my next drink. Okay, so I've had a drink now. I feel great. I've succumbed to my cravings. When is the next time I'm going to drink? Let's push it out further this time. Okay. Um, let's try the next, in 2 days time I'll plan to have a drink. And I would repeat that process. I would have that drink. Okay, let's push it out even further. Then it became a week until the last time I had a drink. So on and so forth. And it got to a point where I think it was about the 3 month mark where I was like, okay, I haven't had a drink for 3 months. I'm going to plan to have a drink. Yeah, sorry. I plan to have a drink in the next 3 months. And I got to the point where it was that day that I had planned to drink. I didn't want it. I thought to myself, no, I actually don't feel like I need a drink. I don't want it. Let's push it out even further. I can do this. And yeah, those 3 months turned out to be, 6 months. Then it went to 9 months, and basically, it'd been a year since I had not had alcohol. So I planned it. I kept pushing it, and you know, it turned out that I planned exactly the date that I would drink alcohol, and I said, actually, I will have alcohol on this date. It will be on my birthday, and I did. Um, so yeah, and I've pretty much done that every year now. Every year since going low carb, carnivore. Um, I would have so my birthday's in September. I would have a drink on my birthday. And that's when I would, have that treat. Unfortunately, though, last year, I did go off the rails a little bit. I did have, alcohol during, the holiday period and whatnot. But at least I had learned to curb and cut out alcohol from my diet drastically. And so it's still a work in progress. I'm still implementing that strategy today. My plan for when I will drink alcohol next will be on my birthday, which is in September. Um, and again, if I on the day feel like I will not need a drink, then I'll push that even further. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, that was just another story on, I guess, a food addiction that I had. Let me just see on Instagram who's awesome stuff. So in the beginning, so I'm just reading comments in Instagram here from the carnivore nurse. In the beginning, I counteracted cravings with a big juicy steak or for a quick bite of butter. Wow. Um, I'm curious to know how that went for you, carnivore nurse. Did tell me about your experience with that, and do you feel like it worked for you? And if so, great stuff. And I think that's awesome. You know what? I did do that as well, and it only worked with certain foods. Um, when the dish is itself associated with, say, a meat. Let's say, chicken and rice. I would curb that craving of having chicken and rice by just eating chicken. But I couldn't. I still have troubles doing that with certain foods. Like it's the most silliest foods too. When I see a fresh loaf of bread or a bread roll, sometimes I would say let me curb this craving by eating, some bacon or some eggs. But no, the cravings are still there. Unfortunately, yeah, they are still there after 2 years, and I do acknowledge that. Sometimes I abstain very well. Actually, most of the time, I abstain. Probably 95% of the time. That 1% of the time, there might have been a trigger for me to just go for it, go for that bread roll. Um, and it's probably you know due to a couple of things. Could be stress, could be um, you know, just feeling hungry at the time. Maybe I hadn't planned my one meal of the day. Um, and so yeah, um, the bite of butter thing, I cannot do. I prefer cheese. So yeah, I sometimes, if I'm feeling peckish on something, I have a bite of cheese. But thank you for sharing. Yeah. Um. Anyways, yeah, I would like to hear other people's stories on um curbing the cravings on the carnivore diet, whether you still experience it after some time, um, and how you sort of counteract those cravings. For myself, I don't actually, um, I barely have cravings, and I rarely do, and I what I've tried to do is identify the triggers for when I do have cravings, and two main ones I've just mentioned. Stress, if I've had a stressful day or a stressful event. And two, when I undereat, when I am, when I haven't planned my meal ahead. For example, I've gone out, you know, I've headed out of the house for, let's say, a party or an event, and I didn't have time to prepare a meal beforehand, or I went out and I ate something which wasn't, I didn't have enough meat or protein. Then yeah, I would definitely. I feel like that's a trigger for me. Especially if the food is available there, like bread roll. The craving is strong when I've undereaten, definitely. But yeah, um, anything else to talk about? Mm, things that I wanted to talk about last week that I actually didn't talk about was the the whole Oreos versus statins thing that was floating around on the internet, the studies, and the thought kind of you know escaped my mind, and there's not much to really think about it right now, but you know for me, the whole study on Oreos versus statins wasn't N equals one, so it was insignificant in terms of how it relates to me. So basically, there's a researcher by the name of Nick Norwitz, um, who's done research in the area of low fat ketogenic and carnivore diets, and with focus on the whole phenotype of lean mass hyper responders, and the high cholesterol levels in these lean people. So he did an experiment on himself where he ate, I think, 12 Oreos a day um, for a couple of weeks, and then after that he took a statin drug for the same time, I believe, and basically compared his cholesterol levels, you know, uh, with statin eating versus Oreo eating, and lo and behold, he Um, he had lower cholesterol levels when eating Oreos than a statin. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. To me, yeah, again, it was just a thing that everyone was harping on about online. I just thought it was a waste of time. I don't see the purpose in it, to be honest, because at the end of the day, um, it's begging the question that is cholesterol a bad thing or not? And in my honest opinion, it isn't. All right, and I've got Susie who's joined in. Hey, Susie, how are you going? Thank you for joining in, and yeah, I'm doing well. How are you? Um, yeah, feel free to go rewind a little bit. Few things, I talked about. Um, I talked about a challenge that I'm doing, which is to cut coffee out completely from my diet. Um, Starting from March up until June, so it'll be a 3 months challenge, not having any coffee. And the other thing I talked about was food cravings. So yeah, um, hmm, interested to know your thoughts around that, Susie. Are you a coffee drinker? Do you drink coffee? And if so, do you ever plan on giving up coffee in your diet? Yeah, yeah. Look, it's gonna be tough, and I did 2 months without coffee last year. That was a similar challenge. I had only intended to go for 1 month, but I thought let's keep pushing for an extended period of time. So I got up to about the 2 month mark last year, and I um yeah, pretty much succumbed to it. Yeah. You drink coffee and tea? I usually do half calf, half decaf. All right. Maybe that's something I might try. You know what? I'm not a fan of decaf coffee. Um, I think it's more to do with the effects rather than the taste. I mean, they both taste horrible. Yet I still drink it. But with yeah, with decaf, that might be a strategy I might try. Um, you know, I have started cutting back my coffee intake. I'm giving myself 2 weeks of a weaning off period. Um, so I started with actually um cutting out, excuse me, cutting out any store bought coffee. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm starting this week. Thinking about ditching coffee at work though. Hmm. Could be the your face and scalp itched last time you drank it. Oh, that's not a good thing. So the last time I weaned off coffee, yes, I did, and I think it was I weaned off too fast, to in my opinion. Um, I went day by day, just cutting down coffee. Whereas I think if I take my time in a span of weeks, it might be a little bit. I may or may not experience those headaches. But yeah, I had the headaches. I had what else did I have? I think it was just the headaches that really got to me. Mm. And I didn't even feel tired. It was just yeah, really bad migraine pains for about 5 to 10 days, and I just kept pushing. So, yeah, I was very determined during that period just to not succumb, but if, you know, I don't want it to be a horrible experience for me, and I guess it's the same thing that I, um, promote with the carnivore diet as well. When you cut out all, carbs and, vegetables completely, sometimes it can be, a horrible experience. And I think it's the same for coffee as well. Mm. Yeah, look, it look, it's I experienced the headaches, and it was not fun. Um, I also drink coffee before working out. Um, and it makes you feel energized, doesn't it? Like you just feel like you've got a bit more kick in your system to just push through a little bit harder. So in a way, it does have its benefits in terms of giving you that what's a stimulant. But yeah, for me, I think the long term effects of coffee, or the long term effects and benefits, negative effects, it really outweighs the benefits that you experience in the short term. Like, definitely the psychological component of it, being addicted to a substance, is never a good thing, I think, anyway. And also for me, the reason why I want to cut it out is also, I had a really, fast heart rate, and you know, I wanted to see, I guess, an experiment. Will it bring down my heart rate a little bit? And it did. I went from about 90 to 100 beats per minute when drinking coffee. When I cut it out completely, it went down to about 60. And yeah, I just felt a lot more relaxed then. And I definitely felt like my sleep had massively improved. So can't wait to experience those things again, hopefully. But yeah, do look forward to it. You should come and join, Susie. Come and join in the challenge. Let's cut out coffee together. Yeah, definitely hydration. Yeah, I think you'd definitely be more efficient in hydrating yourself without coffee. Definitely. See, look at this. I'm drinking. I'm guzzling down water. I've had 2 cups of coffee already today. It's horrible. Yeah, I don't. You know, it's certainly more psychological for me than it is, physiological, because I really don't need it. Hmm. Let's see who's on Instagram. Ah, hey, Sia, you joined in on Instagram. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, hey, look, that's fine. I know a lot of people that are in carnivore that don't want to cut coffee as well, and each to their own. Although some people like challenges, and I'm that sort of person. I think if I've got a challenge, um, you know, I find that very motivating. If I know that you know I'm gonna plan myself to succeed. You know what I'm actually thinking about now too, because if I cut out coffee, I will be 100% carnivore. I might even try, maybe, to go on a period during my coffee free period, to go on a lion diet, maybe towards the end of that challenge, at around, the last month. I think I might try the lion diet. And for those who don't know, the lion diet, is very popularized by uh the Petersons, um Jordan and Michaela Peterson. I think they're the ones who sort of coined the whole um you know uh diet catchphrase. Basically, it's when you just eat meat, uh salt, and water, um which is, yeah, definitely carnivore. But for myself, I still do eat animal products and dairy. So yeah, maybe I might try that as well. Hmm. Cutting dairy out, and eggs. See how that goes. Whenever I run out of coffee, I get annoyed with myself. It's an addiction at the end of the day. Oh my gosh. So yeah, yeah, I think, yeah, it's definitely an addiction. And we could do without it, you know. Yeah. But, I definitely I'm not downplaying it. I think it will be a hard challenge. You know, like anything in life, if it's stepping outside of your comfort zone will be a challenge. You think so? We're more easy going into Lion, being coffee free. Or yeah, yeah, and that was sort of my thinking as well. It might be uh easier for me to try the Lion diet when being coffee free. So at least I can say I tried going on the Lion diet um for it, for some time. I've never actually tried going on Lion diet. There are some days where I don't eat, where I don't have um eggs or dairy. But yeah. Okay. Went well. What sort of things did you experience, if you don't mind me asking? Mm. Yeah, I see some crazy challenges online. I saw this a while back, and I don't understand for the life of me why someone would do it. But there's the carnivore diet where they just eat sardines. I haven't looked into it myself, so I can't really, make any sort of opinion on it. But yeah, just the taste of sardines. I don't know. Right, less water retention. And skin. Um, so what did you cook with? Oh, sorry, you included butter in your diet, so you could have cooked butter. Oh, and also your animal fats. Ah, interesting. Hmm. I've seen, I obviously see people online doing raw carnivore, which is something that I couldn't do. Although I do love raw meat here and there, I just can't. I couldn't do that. Yeah, yeah. I just don't know how you can actually feel satiated on sardines. I have trouble feeling satiated with seafood in general. Like you know, I have to eat beef or lamb in my diet to feel satiated. It's not I feel like I'm um not malnourished. That's not the word. I feel like I've not hit satiety and all my nutrients if I don't have any of those things, beef or lamb. Even when I eat pork or bacon, I can't get satiated just eating those things. Mm, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. What else? You know what? Another thing I wanted to talk about, and it's on my mind, is um sort of other health and biohacks that aren't really talked about too much, but I know people are doing in this community, in the whole carnivore keto community. Um, and yeah, Susie, feel free to also share if you do any of these things. But things like grounding and blocking blue light, are you doing any of those things? Um, for me, I implemented pretty much all of Professor Bart K's four uh biohacks, or he called it his four health hacks uh to deal with inflammation. But yeah, I started grounding um regularly uh about 6 months into carnivore. And basically, for those who don't know what grounding is, it's being um having skin contact to the earth directly, either via touching the soil or the earth yourself, or by um, these earthing mats or grounding mats that you can plug into your wall socket. Doesn't connect to the electricity, but it connects to the earth via the earthing pins. And yeah, um some of the benefits that people experience are things like better sleep, um you know psychological improvements, and apparently as well, if you look at the research behind grounding, you absorb electrons from the earth, and that has an effect with your blood viscosity, and it thins your blood, which basically means your heart works more efficiently as well. So yeah, I ground. I'm currently grounded right now, using this grounding sheet. So yeah, and I sleep on this. Sorry, I sleep on a grounding sheet at night. So pretty much all throughout the night, I'm grounded. And during the day, as much as I can, I try to stay grounded, either on my garden, my backyard, or if I'm sitting down somewhere, I'll just bring this grounding sheet with me. Hmm. Try to get sunlight. Yeah, yeah. Look, yeah. Haven't tried grounding with your feet. Okay. Yeah, I think you know. I don't know exactly the science, enough to say you're going to be grounded if you're going to hike around with shoes, whether or not you're touching the ground somehow. Uh, if you're touching, you know, um, trees, for example, I think you will be connected to the earth. Yeah, you definitely will. Yeah, so you'll be experiencing grounding by touching your surroundings. Um, but yeah, I love to hike, and I love hiking. Unfortunately, here in subtropical weather, it does get very hot, and I just cannot, despite my complexity, in my skin. I should be adapted to actually more sunlight, but I've lived in a cold climate for my childhood, and which is New Zealand. So I'm actually from New Zealand. And yeah, I love the cold weather. Hiking here in Queensland is Australia is yeah, it's a challenge because of the heat. Do I walk barefoot? Yes, I do. I walk barefoot in my backyard. So if I'm cooking, so another way I like to ground and spend time to just connect with the earth is uh, cooking up a barbecue outside, and I stay grounded the whole time. If I'm doing a low and slow, you know, barbecue, even better. I spend at least an hour or 2 hours just barefoot. But definitely, yeah, I do walk barefoot. Um, hmm. Okay, I've never heard of them. I'll have a look at that. Zero drop minimalist shoes. Interesting. Very interesting. Um, yeah, right. Oh, yeah. The Okay, and I'm assuming this is prior to carnivore diet. Yeah. Mm. But yeah, I think everyone could do with a little bit more grounding in their life. I think, being connected to the earth is something our ancestors would have done, prior to the invention of shoes, you know, prior to the roads being, we're basically just isolated. Um, we've, yeah, isolated ourselves to, these four walls, and not connected ourselves to the earth. Yeah. Which I think, is something that has affected our evolution. So yeah. I'm glad that you're partaking in this exercise, Susie. Definitely, grounding is another health hack that I would highly suggest people to do or to consider. Right, right. Mm. Could be the whole seed oil thing too. I'm told that uh, you know, uh, consumption of seed oils uh, do something to your skin, which I'm not, you know, I don't really, I haven't really looked into in much detail. I've only just heard of it um, in watching. Do I filter my water at home? No, I wish I did though. I've heard of you know, companies that do, you know, filter the deuterium content of water in the house, but yeah, and also just filter out the heavy metals. Yeah, I don't, unfortunately. How about yourself, Susie? Yeah, I'm drinking this filthy tap water, filled with who knows what. I don't know. Uh, I'm pretty sure here in Australia it's fluoridated water as well. They add fluoride to the water, so it's just something I can't avoid, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. I've started using beef tallow for yeah skin moisturizer. It's been great. Um, do you make your own tallow or do you buy tallow products? I'm considering thinking about tallow products because yeah I use my tallow that I make personally, and you go around smelling like beef everywhere you go, which is not a bad thing, to be honest. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to buy, you know, um, water that's very low in deuterium and spring water and all that, but it got a bit expensive for me. Mm. Um, the other thing, Susie, I don't know if you um know about this, but have you heard about Cerule from Professor Bart K? If you haven't, it's something that I think people should check out, including yourself. Actually, I think everyone should be checking out the Cerule product range. Um, Cerule is a nutraceutical company, for those who don't know, and they have developed a product um, that if you consume it, it helps release and enhance the release of your own adult stem cells. And you know, adult stem cells are known to be part of your repair and renew system in your body. So basically, when a cell ages or it dies off, your adult stem cells um, basically replaces those dead cells, and it differentiates into that that cell. So, for example, if you've got one of your cells in your heart dies off, you've got stem cells that float around in your blood, and basically replace those dead cells. So yeah, I think it's something that if people want to check out, I'll put in the link in the video description. But I think it's definitely something that's been a health hack for me. So while I can't make any therapeutic claims due to um, if the rules and regulations with food and drug, um, when I started taking it last year, one of the things I noticed drastically was a huge improvement in my um, just my alertness and my energy. So uh, I just started going to the gym 6 months prior to taking Cerule, and so uh, I'd conditioned myself, and I was very well conditioned in going to the gym regularly. but when I noticed when I did started taking Cerule, my energy levels just shot through the roof, and I felt also my recovery period between sessions was much better as well. Um, Other thing that I experienced when I started taking it was a lot of my um my seasonal allergies that I would have, the hay fever and the sneezing. Oops, what's happened here? It very much went away. And that it improved as well. I don't really get much hay fever or um, you know, allergies. So yeah, uh, I'll link in the website below on this thread, but also on the video afterwards for those who are interested. The beefy smellatella, yeah. Oh yeah, um, yeah. I don't look. I'm very much uh when I make my own tallow, I feel very proud of the product that I make. So I think that's why I find it very hard to go out and buy store bought tallow, just because number one, I get the beef trimmings, the fat trimmings free from the butcher. So essentially, I've got free products, and two, it's just I guess I love making my own tallow. It's just it's awesome stuff. Mm. Yeah, Susie. Yeah, definitely. Check it out. I've got the link here. I'll just put it on the thing. I am also a business affiliate of Cerule, so if anyone does purchase from the link that I provide, I do get commissions from that. So let me just Cerule. Mm. But yeah, um, the other thing that also that I've actually done um after carnivore and also prior to the carnivore diet was going to the gym. I think that's certainly an underrated health hack that people don't really acknowledge. Um, I think being able to go to the gym or to exercise and just move is a health hack on its own, 100%. Mm. Um, yeah. So let me just quickly find this Cerule link. I posted here on Instagram Live and also on the StreamYard audio. Yeah. Ooh, there you go. But yeah, anything else to talk about? Anything else here? Yeah. Any other topics that come to mind? Susie, anything of interest lately? Whoever else is watching as well. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to hear that. I've when I when I started going to so I took 2 years off before going carnivore because I just couldn't go to the gym physically. It was just unbearable. And yeah, after a few months on carnivore, I just felt like it made it possible for me to work out again. Mm, mm. Okay, well, all right. Well, I think we've reached the hour mark into this live stream. Susie, I'll see if you do comment again. I will acknowledge the comment and we'll start off conversation there. But if not, um, Guys and girls, for those who are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Oh, hang on a second. Let's go here. All right. I've been thinking a lot about keto carnivore and help with autoimmune issues. Yeah. Hmm. Um, you know what? My thoughts around, these autoimmune issues is that obviously, uh, when people do have these improvements in their autoimmune conditions, um, it's oh, C is joined. Hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in. I can spare a few more minutes with this. Yeah, definitely. I have heard of rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah, I have heard of people improving, you know, rheumatoid arthritis on the carnivore diet. And it makes absolute sense, you know, being with, getting rid of inflammation, number one. And number two, you're eating a diet that's appropriate for your speciation, which is definitely, it's definitely for me, it's telling that we are supposed to eat this way. Um, so, in my humble opinion, the carnivore diet is the most anti-inflammatory diet known to man. It is the most uh, beneficial diet when in terms of obtaining all your nutrients, and it comes to no surprise that a lot of these autoimmune conditions are, you know, pretty much alleviated and improved. Uh, things like rheumatoid arthritis. At its to my knowledge, inflammation has a large part to do with rheumatoid arthritis, chronic systemic inflammation, and that could be, we can't point at what the cause is because as Bart would say, it would be irresponsible to do that because we don't have any studies that can claim one cause and effect. Um, but inflammation definitely plays a role in it, and it is, you know, um, it is definitely at play. What other? There are some other conditions as well. I've heard, you know, these autoimmune conditions, become basically gone after carnivore. A couple of gut issues um, definitely get improved. IBS. Um, I mean, it's not really an autoimmune condition, but you could even say hay fever or seasonal allergies. Sometimes, it could just be um, triggered automatically. But yeah, definitely, I think um, for those who've got autoimmune conditions, carnivore is definitely something to consider. Yeah. Have you improved any autoimmune conditions, Sia or Susie? Have you got any experiences with that? Love to hear. Mm. Mm. Oh yeah, the one that I've heard quite a lot is psoriasis, and I know Sia herself has improved. Was it psoriasis that you had of your hands? Yeah, I think definitely. Hmm. Other things were Crohn's disease. I've heard people improve their Crohn's disease. That's a inflammation of gut inflammatory condition. Hmm. Yeah, I remembered from previously. So yeah, ex. I wonder if eczema is considered as well autoimmune because I actually still do have a bit of eczema. Yes, yes, that's right. You're talking about fibromyalgia before, I think. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Um, yeah, I'm just looking up right now what is considered um autoimmune disorders. Type 1 diabetes is one. Mm. Mm. Yeah, I don't know uh much about the autoimmune disorders, to be honest. Right. Okay. So it healed when you went on Lion diet. Interesting. Oh, good stuff. Yay. That's awesome. And yeah, it hasn't come back. So um, I guess that's something, as I mentioned, maybe it might have something to, it could have been something to do with inflammation. And since you had gotten rid of the inflammation, maybe you were able to introduce those foods and not trigger that inflammatory response. Therefore, your your eczema not coming back, which is great. Awesome. Hmm. Um, yeah. Hmm. Good luck on that, Susie. It's awesome that uh, we have people like you preaching to others and help and you know helping people see the benefits in keto and carnivore. I think it's very hard to stay in a bubble, to be honest, and to not tell anyone about this. I found that definitely challenging. Um, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm excited. I really yeah. I don't know if you've rewinded this video or if you've rewinded the live stream, but yeah, I'm planning to go on a line diet as well. Um, as a quick rundown, I'm cutting out coffee from March till June, and I'll be in a full carnivore diet, hopefully for that whole 3 month period. If I don't fall off or you know um, succumb to my cravings, but during at the end of that coffee fast, I'm planning to go on the lion diet as well. Mm, yeah, definitely awesome. Yeah, yeah. See, are you still doing your extended fasts, or have you stopped doing those fasts? Mm. I'm thinking as well, maybe after the 3 months, I might do another challenge later on in the year, where I might implement, you know, fasts in, a a block of time, maybe a month. Who knows? We'll see. I've done fasting before, where I've done it quite frequently, like every second day. I actually followed the protocol with consultation from Professor Bart K. With the priming protocol and the alternate day fasting. So I did that also in the past. Oh, okay, fast like a girl. Interesting. I'll have a look at that after this, and we'll look into it. Oh, fasting based on a monthly cycle. Mm. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that. So how long do you fast? Is it an extended fast like you did? I think you said it was 372 hours that you did, or are you just gonna be doing shorter fasts? Hmm. Oh my god, I definitely did. So I ate. So with the priming protocol, it was planned for 2 weeks of eating 3 times a day and double what I would normally eat for each serving. So I ate basically 6 times what I would normally eat in a day. So 6 times the volume. Oh my god. It was horrible. It was the worst. Honestly, it was not enjoyable, and I would uh in terms of the benefits that I experienced from it, I guess it allowed me to um you know so I use the priming protocol to help me get into, you know, alternate day fasting and extended fast periods. Um, I lasted 10 days. After the 10th day, I could not do it. There is such thing as eating too much. And when you eat to satiety, when you eat past satiety, um, it's not a fun thing. Um, cannot stress it up. It was horrible. It was not good. I didn't like it at all. And would I do it again? Hell no. I did not get a good experience from it. Look, I can't I shouldn't dismiss it. Look, I probably will try it again. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I increased volume basically. I didn't measure fat or protein. I just ate extra. Hmm. Okay, all right. You do 20 hours, days you do 15. Interesting, very interesting. Okay, well, still, I mean, if you've looked into her work and I guess if it benefits you, um, I think that'll be amazing. Better for you, definitely. I don't think you can go wrong with fasting, to be honest. I think it's a thing that our ancestors would have done as well. You know. Aha! I actually I put on weight. I put on a little bit of weight. It was insignificant. It was, you know, it was in grams. I put in about 200 grams. That was it from memory. So yeah, the whole calories in, calories out thing obviously didn't apply for me. Yeah. Um, but the alternate day fasting that shed a few kilos for sure. Um, hmm. All right, time for me to do some reading then. I'll look into Dr. Pell's. Something for me to look at. Hmm. Hmm. But yeah, Susie, going back to your comment here, I think yeah. Um to be honest, it was I wasn't afraid to do it, but it was more like, I was afraid of what I would experience. Like how would in particular my bowels, like how would that impact my bowels? And to my surprise, it didn't really, you know, do too much. I was a little bit more frequent with my bowel motions, but um yeah, the thing that really got to me was just the discomfort and the hate to put another piece of steak in my mouth. Like I just, you really had to force yourself to eat, and it was yeah. Hello to whoever the fourth person is who's tuned in. Okay. Oh, she's got books. Awesome. I'll definitely look at that. Ah, hello, hello. Hi, Raina. Thank you for tuning in. Uh, welcome, welcome. And let's see if anyone is tuned in on Instagram. No one is tuned in on Instagram since, but that's okay. Yeah. So we've talked about a few things here, Raina. Right now we're on the topic of um, fasting and the priming protocol by I think it's Steak and Butter Gal or Raymond. Yeah, part of the SBG gang. Um, you know that lot. Oh, that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Um, these sessions will come and go, and I'm not consistent with uh with planning these live sessions on a routine manner due to my shift work that I do. But yeah, to catch you up on some things that we've talked about, yeah, priming protocol, fasting, and we're currently talking about this person, Dr. Mindy Pels, who's got a book apparently, Fast Like a Girl. So yeah, well, if you want to share some thoughts around that, yeah. Do you fast in your diet, Reina? Do you do any fasting or anything of that sort? Oh, hello. I've got someone else who's joined in as well on Instagram Live. Keto Universe, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. When it's on accident, in fasting for 20 hours. Yeah, it's I have done 20 plus hour fasts before, and it's good. I felt great afterwards. And the satisfaction of refeeding. Oh, amazing. Mm. Oh, Reina, we also gotta tee up uh a date for when we can do this eating challenge and what we should do. Are we gonna be doing eggs again or something else? 18.6? Yeah, I think it's natural for me as well. An 18.6. Mm. Well, I'm doing OMAD, and it's been working for the last 1 year and 6 months. So, wow, 36 hours. Woo, well done. Yeah. Do you do you guys consider if we're talking about meal when we talk about OMADs and 2MADs, do you guys consider sorry, girls, because it's all girl power right now. Do you girls consider mm, snacking or smaller meals a a meal of the day? Like for example, I say I'm OMAD, but I had a slice of cheese, um, you know, as a snack. Is it still an OMAD for you guys? Oh, girls, sorry. Like I've heard some people say it's not really OMAD if if you've eaten a smaller meal that day. You might have had some, stripper bacon or some cheese. Um, when you eat a small little snack, it's considered a pretty much a shit meal. a small shit meal. Oh, a fasting challenge vlog it. Yeah, let's see it. I'd watch. I'd definitely watch it. Mm, mm. Yeah, we've got we definitely we'll keep tabs on it, Raina. Mm. A snack is a snack. Yeah, and coffee doesn't count. Mm. I for me, my definition of a fast is having no food, um, or just the gap between your next meal. If I have coffee, if I'm fasting, I'm not drinking. I'm drinking water. That's it. No coffee. So that's my that's for me how I like to think of fasting. Hello to the fifth person who's just joined in. Hello, hello. Anyone in Instagram Live? No, no one else. And Reina, to catch you up as well, I'm doing a coffee challenge, a coffee free challenge from the month of March till June. Care to join me if you're still drinking coffee? Yeah, yeah. Some people count snack as a meal, and you know, mm. No, that's okay. All good. I'm looking for people to who want to join that challenge with me. Uh, Also for myself for motivation. Yeah, yeah. Lord knows I need that strength and that. I think I'll be motivated enough. Look, any whenever I commit to a challenge, I feel motivated. So, mm. I see, I see. Yeah. Hey, it is for me as well. Well, it was, I guess, up until now when I've decided that I'm gonna try without coffee, see how that goes. But yeah, for the last 2 years, it's been a non-negotiable for me. And yeah, sorry, I did do a coffee challenge as well last year, same time. Did it for 2 months, and it was good. I did feel much better out of it, but the negative experience was definitely the withdrawals. That was, the first 10 days. Horrible stuff. Yeah. Hmm, let's see. Yeah, I think those are the things that I want to try this year. Those are the main challenges. Coffee, coffee. Oh, hang on. Any significant benefits? Yeah, my heart rate definitely dropped. Because I am. I'm gonna admit to it. I definitely uh drink a lot more coffee than I should, and which is should be none really. But yeah, I drink a lot of coffee, about 5 cups of coffee a day, and you know, sometimes even at rest, my heart rate is in the 80s to hundreds. But when I cut coffee out, my heart rate went down to the 60s, which is I think is good. Uh, Decrease workload for your heart and my sleep. Oh, much better. Yeah, so much better. Um, but that's just my experience with coffee drinking. And yeah, the last few months since Christmas, I'm back to old habits with coffee drinking. So I thought I need to. I'm definitely an abstainer, not a moderator. I've I have tendencies towards um binge eating or binging. So I have to abstain. That's just how I operate. What? Yeah, your guys' thoughts on the whole abstainer versus moderator? Um, I first heard about it from Nutrition with Judy, and she yeah, basically explain what people's tendencies to either lean towards moderation versus people who the other spectrum who completely have to abstain. And I think it's not so much black and white. I think it's a spectrum, to be honest, because sometimes I can moderate foods that you know moderate the things that I shouldn't be eating. For example, if I've got a craving for bread, sometimes I can have a bread roll and I can say that's it, nothing else, nothing more. But other times I'm horrible. Mm. And I do have to abstain, and I do lean towards that tendency of having to need to abstain in order to maintain course of the goals that I have. Mm. Ah, did you? All right, I'll go tune in and watch that video. Mm. Right, right. Interesting. Yeah, it's quite easy to binge on potatoes and French fries. Definitely, 100%. Yeah. Yep. Exactly my thoughts. Well, guys, and girls, look, it's about an hour and a half, and it's midday here. I'm about to start work. Actually, I got to get ready for work, so I'm gonna have to end the live stream here. But I just want to again thank you guys and girls for tuning in and for interacting with me on this live stream. Um, you know, uh, whenever that was, if you tuned in later on, that's completely fine. I'm very grateful and thankful for the interaction. And yeah, next week I actually have a guest on the live stream. I'll have Nicole from the channel Nutrition with a Former Fat Girl. She's coming on the channel next week. We've got that teed up, and hopefully she's gonna tune in as well. But yeah, if you guys like this, for those who are watching the replay, if you like this video, the live stream, please like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next live stream next week. I think I've got it on uh, sometime. I think it's Monday or Tuesday. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But anyways, keep posted on my Instagram and on my YouTube as to when that will be. All right, guys. See you next week.